This is Troublesome Times. Unscripted, unedited, all done in one take. Because it's so easy, right? Since everyone else has a podcast, I might as well have one too. And this begins 2025 after my nearly 2-week online influencer vacation. Yahoo! That was something. I mean, I figured after all the creative stuff I did, plus, the average everyday work life and the student life, I figured I needed a bit extra time to start brainstorming. Isn't that great, right? Right? It's a no-win situation in this kind of life. If I do work, I get allegations of being a workaholic. If I don't work, I get allegations of laziness. Well, why stop things that are out of my control? It's not worth wasting all your energy when people have already had their minds made up, right? So now I'm going to do the worst first impression of 2025, and if you can totally listen to this while cleaning, and I never thought I'd have to say this at all, but if you have to listen to something while showering, please, for Jiminy's sake, do that. Oh man, yeah, that's something I didn't think I would see coming, is that, I would have to actually spread the good word to practice good hygiene. So, for everyone's sake, especially yours, use soap. It's after a while, it does take a toll on you in a lot of ways, and I know you don't have to do it like all day, every day, but for the sake of our stomachs, our noses, and skincare, definitely do that, alright? Definitely believe in you. So, usually in the first podcast of the year, I had done a recap, and I thought I was going to do not as much, but it turns out I did just as much as last year, if not more. The notable videos of the year. So, alright, so you're getting comfy, got some tea, pet your pet. Have you haven't done that yet? Alright, so, I'm gonna try not to I'm gonna make this not as boring as possible. So, what's the first thing I did? Oh, I already covered that. Another recap of the Troublesome Times. This is a little hard to get. It's a little hard, just the first thing in the morning. Yeah, I better start get back in my little routine. But I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna post this like ASAP as possible, because it is Thursday. So, the other notable thing I did in January was I did make something that I had written, and then I got feedback on, and I thought it was pretty interesting. It was called Herbert White is Frank Bidart's greatest character, and I thought it was interesting that this is something I did notice, because I actually wanted to make films. And it can be hybrid, live action, whatever, any of that, but, some people have asked what had actually made me got into writing. Well, one of the things I did a lot, I tried to do a little bit of everything, it seemed, even as a kid. And whenever people had written my stuff and I had to read it out, they liked it so much, and I was a person that did not like to say no and not make anyone feel bad, so I kept doing it, and it just started there. And does that mean I hate to write it? No, absolutely not. It's just something that ended up being unexpected. It's always been that way as long as I can remember. Even as a child, I actually there was one point when I was a teenager that I was actually suggested that I get into creative writing, and that's what they ended up doing. It is so weird. Like, it seems like every time I continue my academic career, I always end up in creative writing. That happened in when I was a junior, I believe. I believe it was a junior in high school, and then when I was a college undergraduate, a freshman, I'm 99%, yeah, I did do the creative writing for sure, and now it seems like I'm gonna get into it again. I guess it's meant to be. Creative writing is, it's pretty much, it's like to me, it's one of the easiest things to do. You write, you read, you talk about it, what you did, you hear other people, read what they write, then you talk about what you thought of hearing it. It gets pretty interesting. There are a lot of things I've written. And there's another interesting, there's a lot of things, I've pretty much written so much stuff. And there's a lot of stuff I've never ever uncovered. So when I actually found a paper where there was an issue where I think a photo should be, there should be a disclaimer when if the photo was altered, and I actually supported that. I still think we need to do that. Because now AI is turning to the point where they are starting to make magazine cover people, if you know what I mean. So, what does that have to do with anything, right? So I thought that the Herbert White video was pretty interesting, and it's kind of a little weird. I joke that it's my most expensive video, because how I learned about it is I spent maybe $200, spent about 4 months of my time finally reading Bedard's poetry for about a week or two, talked about it for 3 hours on one night. I believe that day was on, see, I did write something. First I wrote Sistina on that day, so I'm not even going to pretend I remember what it is. But it was interesting, and I wanted to try and see if I could keep that exactly the same in video form and have people be interested anyway. And I was actually surprised how I had to add a few things, some changes to make it pretty engaging for, a video. But for the most part, it's pretty much the same. Like, it was identical to the written form. So, it was pretty fun learning about Bedard, and then somehow James Franco always, is in the middle of the weirdest stuff, but I mean, I hope whoever I made that for really liked it. That's all I want to say. And it's a pretty unusual topic, I know, and I didn't really care if I really got a lot of views for it, but I feel like that one shined pretty well, because I really, really want to show, it was so weird, because I ended up learning that books and films go hand in hand, because more often than not, your favorite movie is based off a book or any sort of literature. So what I do in February, I think I did my first official gameplay of the visual novel. I chose Arcade Spirits because I thought it was interesting. If you ever look at it, it's pretty maybe it's a little on the left side, but I wouldn't let that turn you off. So Arcade Spirits, a visual novel, is an alternate universe where the video game Crash did not happen. So arcades got really popular, and then your player character is working in a arcade store, and they're trying to save it. It's pretty cool so far. I don't want to rush into it. I know some people, I won't say who and make them grumpy, but some of them will record them ahead of time and then save maybe terabytes of footage, and then record the audio and then save that and make daily videos. But that's not kind of me. What I want to do for my gameplay videos is sorry, it's a little early for me. What I want to do is make it my first time gameplay as blind as possible, as authentic. So some of it may be a little iffy. It's a visual novel, so it's not that hard. I don't know if I'd ever want to play Dream Daddy, because from what I've heard, it's okay. I did play Danganronpa. Maybe eventually I'll do it, but I don't know. It'd be a little weird if I did play blind. I mean, I did the first two games 100%. So I don't know if, so I pretty much know everything about what's gonna happen. So, and the other thing I wrote for February was the Valentine's holiday podcast that ended up becoming some sort of a tradition. Um, I mean, what can I say? I guess my reasoning would be it takes forever to wait on anything, and so that's some background noise to play. I revived another series I ended up doing, Make or Break 2, which was about video game remakes and remasters and all that. I would like to eventually revive that, but it's sort of kind of hard to do because it was eventually done to be like a two-person kind of thing where we would like look at the good, look at the bad, and put our opinions and all that, but it's kind of hard because I am a female in a male-dominated field, and it's not interesting. And that's something I eventually learned is like, there are some females that I did not ever imagine would want to be in my shoes. And I do have to say, I'm not one of those people that covet what others have. And even if I do, I think usually the reason is because there was infidelity involved. So maybe I think in my perspective, those very few times that happen, it's justified. But it's sort of weird because then it's just hard to imagine that if I did their job for them, I'd actually be more successful than they are. I mean, I guess the reason that maybe is like, even though my parents are pretty much despise each other and want almost nothing to do with each other, and I have to go back and forth with them. Joint custody was a bitch. I did had a pretty. Both my parents did spend a lot of time with me, and let me tell you, the father that you're raised by gives you an example of how to behave around men, and mine just happened to be, don't act stupid. That's all that can summarize it. It seems like his approach to how to deal with people in life, and that eventually rubbed off on me, is don't do stupid things for people. And we all make mistakes in life, but I guess like he was trying to say, don't put all your eggs in one basket kind of thing. And I gotta say, I think he did an okay job. Neither of them are perfect, but they did okay. I think it turned out okay, considering everything that could have happened. So now I got March. Ooh, this one. This one was actually kind of out of nowhere. Casting Vic Mignogna. Vic Mignogna was kind of an inside joke because for a long ass time, until like 5 years ago, Vic Mignogna was the voice actor that was everywhere in anime. And so, like, I'd have a little joke saying, "Oh, how can I make this really good? Who do I cast?" And we go, Vic Mignogna. And funny enough, I don't hate his work. I don't hate his performance. I don't hate the Vic Mignogna, the actor. I don't dislike his stuff. It's just I wouldn't say it's terrible. I know it's some people don't like it. Like him, his stuff, his performances, and his anything that's different. But I say, considering what we had back then, I kind of see where he skyrocketed to fame, honestly, and it actually hasn't aged that badly. So I thought it was interesting. I was wondering if I was actually surprised that a lot of people did watch this video and commented, and But, yeah, so I'm pretty glad that it was a pretty entertaining. I thought it would be fun to do, like, I actually sent this in an email to Vic Mignogna before I released the video. So I might as well explain why I did. I always wanted to do, like, this kind of thing, this Brian Boitana kind of song. And it would just, like, poke fun at celebrity cameos where, because I remembered when I was a kid, they make a big deal about the celebrity cameo, and I did literally have no idea who they are, because I was, like, really young, they haven't been working a while, they've been a celebrity a while before I was born, so I'm like, so I thought he would actually be perfect doing that. So I don't know if I think he read it eventually. But, it was fun. It's like, I want Vic Mignogna in a project of mine. That would be amazing. Ooh. Wouldn't it? Oh my god, it would be perfect to cast Vic Mignogna in a project of mine. Would it be funny if that really happened? To cast Vic Mignogna in a project of mine. Another worst first impression of 2025 from Jack Wonderland Frost. There will always be singing in between. But, this was... And, I apologize in advance. This was a lot better in my head, I swear. I'm only in March, and it's almost 20 minutes. I hope you rinsed and dried off by then. And definitely used soap, or you had gotten half of your shit clean by now. So, yeah, and it's fun to make a dancing little tune, and then, to my shock, that was part of the year of the comeback, because Vic Mignogna made an album in 15 years. That was, surprised me a lot, but hey, what do I gotta say about the album? Very good. Great. Good, Vic Mignogna. Good. Normally I say, bad, Vic Mignogna. Bad. But, no. After hearing that album, and, wow. Yeah, definitely always was a better musician than a voice actor, in my opinion. So, now I'd say, good, Vic Mignogna. Good. Anyway. Oh, April. This one I was actually the most excited for. It seems like April is like the most exciting stuff of the month. So the first one was the one I was waiting for. That was reviewing Danny Phantom, A Glitch in Time. And I explained pretty much everything that I wanted to say in that video. I always wanted to make something related to Danny Phantom. And I figured this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity where it most likely was not going to be forgotten. I did not watch any reviews when I wrote that. I didn't want anyone coloring my stuff. But I gave a lot of extra time. I was actually surprised, like, what a lot of people had to say. But I do hope that Epstein does, you know, I hope Epstein does, like, take their reviews into consideration, too. Because, you know, even though you can agree to disagree, but we are all fans, and we pretty much got nothing out of it, in my opinion. It was but it's a little hard to tell with my, review, I'm pretty sure. I do like it, I just think there's a lot of stuff that needs to be worked on it. I do really like the art, like, I will say that, even though I kind of nitpicked at it a lot. But I do think, you know, if this is like your first rodeo doing a really strong graphic story, you did all that, you did a good job. I think over time, if a lot of things improved, then yeah, I think the second one might be better. Believe it or not, I do think there's a lot more stuff that could be covered for the second one, cause, I mean, I was pretty cool about all the references that were made, but I do think that should have been, like, brought in more naturally, but yeah, I mean, I do like that it was a sequel to The Ultimate Enemy, and then, because, you know, that's something that was a long time coming, so yeah, that was a great one. I was really excited about that one, and I really, really tried my best. I did buy my current mic just for that, because I wanted to do quality as much as possible, and I think the 12-year-old in me would have been very happy. Really, really glad that I was alive for long enough to see this happen. And then the other thing I did was Dogs Molly Jolly Holiday 2. The first one was a little more straightforward. Unfortunately, because of the copyright laws with music, whenever, it was a nightmare to do. I didn't want to risk that again. The reason I let the first one happen is because, like, what I care about is that, as long as people can see it, then I'm fine. That didn't really happen, so sorry to my fellow Russians and Belarusians that needed to use VPN to see that. That was a little out of my control. But so in order to avoid that, I wanted to try a little something. It ended up becoming like a little mini series. Yeah, so Dogs Molly Jolly Holiday ended up becoming a wrestling event, and yes, that will happen again for Dogs Molly Jolly Holiday 3. Oh boy. And that's going to have to I actually wrote that in the outline here. Cause there's a character that I'm gonna have to add to the roster now that's probably gonna be in Dogs Molly Jolly Holiday 3. I was gonna make a joke about it, but again, I'm gonna have to say that for the end because it seems like a lot of stuff happened during the holidays up to now, but ooh, suspense. So, May, diving into YouTuber poetry, I reread Anne Boleyn's poetry to start. There was gonna be a ton more, but man, Gabby Hanna's poetry really sucked me dry. I ended up reading Bo Burnham's Egghead, like, way after I read it. I was gonna do that too, but I actually started to feel a little bad for Gabby Hanna because I will say this, for Bo Burnham's poetry, I would not feel comfortable reading that out loud, and then if any baby Frosties decided to read that could perpetuate negative, harmful stereotypes in their head because of that. So long story short, Bo Herman, if you're taking the hiatus, make it permanent. That's all I want to say. So I did read Gabby Hanna's poetry. It didn't look like I finished the short stories when I did that, but the truth is I actually did, and it was very personal. I did not feel comfortable reading all of that out. It was getting very sad, and I don't believe she'll ever make poetry again. Maybe she'll eventually will make music or something. I don't know. I just think it's kind of weird because I was actually harsher than Rachel Oates did, and I actually liked those videos. They were pretty good. But, so I'm a little surprised why I don't know, maybe it's because she didn't know the video, but I don't know. I'm just done with the excuses. What can I say? And it really shows the poetry. So another second thing I did that was notable. Oh yeah, so is Lies of a Devil. There was a song I really liked growing up. It was Lips of an Angel, but it was pretty problematic because the guy was emotionally cheating by calling his ex on the phone and saying I miss you and all that stuff, and I'm like, why is nobody corrected that? I actually had no idea there was already another song when they did this, and when I finished hearing that song, like that was supposed to add the girl's perspective, I was what? So they're both emotionally cheating, and in my version, I mean I didn't know if I know just try to add like the other side of perspective, because it seems like nobody ever talks about what the lady, which is what I identify as, what women have to go through. So I'm just clapping back, right, rewriting the title, just parroting the words that the guy says, and I try to make it empowering, because nobody deserves to go through that kind of those mind games and stuff. Let me tell you that I've seen it a lot in my family. I've seen it a lot in my friends. The thing is, like, I am demisexual. That means I usually don't get blind very easily unless I get very emotionally attached. So it's like a double-edged sword. It's like a blindness. So I always saw right away when these guys were full of it, and it's kind of hard to stand there and watch, and then when they're crying, and then all you can do is comfort them. It's like, somebody needs to defend these women. Somebody, or well, and men too, if women do that, there's no excuse for anyone to do it, really. Somebody needs to stop telling them to do this BS to everyone. And then I celebrated Troublesome Times. That was technically the first month I did it. Long story short, I really get tired of people hyping up their stuff and they don't do any of the work I do, and it's technically not hard to do this sitting there talking to a mic. So I just beat them to it. And that's pretty much it. And then I look back at the other ones, I'm like, I don't do them a lot, but they do improve a lot. Maybe it's I just gotten accustomed to it, so. June, WWE wrestler Barbie. Wow, June was also eventful. Yeah, I just wanted to try the wrestler stuff, the more wrestler series. And I thought it'd be funny to do the Barbie thing. There was a lot of cool stuff. I love the customization on WWE 2K. It's like awesome. And I'm like, yes, female wrestlers. And I try to do my own lore. I have not really finished the Barbie movie at all. So I really try not to borrow from other elements and whatever. So I thought it added lore, like, how are there so many Barbies and all that? And like, oh, wait, they're all family, so of course they're going to be fighting for the title. I thought it was pretty funny. And of course, the Barbie we all know and love with the pink hair dress and the blonde hair, blue eyes, she won. But there are other versions of Barbie, because, Barbie can be anything you want to be. Troublesome Times, summer, fun. Yeah, this was actually something to... I do like ASMR roleplay kind of audio podcast or whatever. But the horror one is where it really gets interesting. So I thought I'd try something like a little bit like that. I really did record at night, and then for some reason I got like jumping lizards. Legless lizards and like all these sort of things just crawling out all over. I don't know what it is about reptiles and mammals showing up to my yard and my front my lawn and my backyard. Maybe maybe somebody's hiding something in there. Maybe they're looking for buried treasure. But it was a lot better than the last one, I will say that. Who I guess it's up to you guys to decide who is the listener supposed to be, really. But I try to make that where it's like, I try to do it like as, effortless as possible. Understand my suffering in my creepy goosebumps kind of like podcast. Did my second shopping haul. That was wild. I pretty much went everywhere. It seems I even went to like another place because their FYE was there, and I bought a bunch of stuff. It was pretty fun to do. What I didn't add in the second shopping haul because I already finished it. Like I got a bunch of Garfield's merch because I went to go see the Garfield movie the day it came out. So I still have it. It was pretty awesome. So. Yeah, I don't know, it's just funny, like, I don't like to shop, but it's pretty cool to see what people have collected. So I thought I'd give it a shot, and I hope it was okay. I hope you guys at least liked the setup I did and all that. I actually did like my shopping. So anyways, my sad excuse. Ooh, I was a little inspired by Elton John, tried to do something like that. And it's like, pretty much, this was actually, I guess I will say long story short, I'm pretty much an introvert, and the problem is like, I got thrown in this online celebrity life thing, internet celebrity life thing, so, I'm always like, and people think I'm pretty unapproachable. It's like, but the problem is like, I get like, severe anxiety thinking that I get a very bad first impression, so I'm like, okay, so how do I talk to these people? Sometimes I'll try to comfort them, sometimes I'll give advice, answer a question, and it's like, oh, there's my reason to do it, to look like a complete fool. So I hope I mean I mean that's pretty much the gist I had. I mean, there were is it like some of it was I mean I tried to make it as humorous as possible, and then looking back I'm like, huh, wow, because it was worse when I was younger, but now it's like, shoot. Those old habits die hard. Oh, the only notable thing I did for July was Make Believe Forbidden Excitement. I will say this was about how this is like pretty much me trying to process that, anything I say or do, a lot of people end up doing that, and then they start to say that they were the ones that pretty much like, made it a trend or whatever. And okay, but you got that idea from me. I'm not that I really care, but it's just interesting because eventually I learned, people just kind of want to see how I get like I got to where I am today, but yeah, so the whole main thing, I mean, I really hope like, that one was really liked because I don't know. It seemed like a little crazy, I know, but I do think that I don't know. I hope some people had those moments. It's like, well, not to. I hope that people who try to knock them down don't like don't feel bad because of that. They can just once they're kicked down, they can get back up and maybe push them harder. What can I tell you? I know it's a little unusual, but this is sort of related. I'm kind of wondering what happened. I will say it's like I know some people are kind of like I only do this for clout or whatever, but I really haven't. Sometimes I try to avoid certain things cuz I don't want to get because like sometimes there's a better chance that all of a sudden all these people will get interested in this topic, and then it gets a little overwhelming. But I will say I don't know what to say. I think if I was asked directly, it would be a little more clear. I will say like I just haven't forgotten all my roots, and I just it's just interesting. I guess my whole just like I hope you like it. Okay, so Forbidden was my actual real attempt at the said horror ASMR where this poor I don't want to spoil it too much, but basically I had an idea. It was actually inspired, and of course I just realized it says August, and I wrote at the end, made 5 videos that much, too many birthdays, angry face. Because August is my most technically would have been my most busiest month if I really did the birthday videos, because it seems like a lot of my friends, my buddies, I have birthdays in August for some reason. In fact, like one of them joked that I should have done the Vic Mignogna video in August, and I'm like, no, no, this is exhausting. So it's insane. So I guess I did not like being born on my birthday, but I'm just glad it's not August, because now I would have had to share with like literally 12 other people hypothetically. But don't worry, you guys, all your birthdays are special, even if you all are in August. Oh, yeah, so Forbiddance is the, I thought I'd try a little interesting concept where this is kind of based on like this scenario. I'm not even sure this really did occur, but I was, the anxiety, sometimes like all these situations and emotions do inspire something. I will say regarding that, I was not trying to say anything out of my mind. I just thought it'd be a little interesting to see what could have happened. I don't, but I actually don't know. But I will say I thought it was an interesting concept. Like, what if like she was forced, with a supposed stalker, because it's still like up in the air, like what happens, right? You'll only get two sides. I was gonna do like both of them together, but unfortunately, some things fell apart and plan wise, and I don't know who would have made the perfect Jason Monroe. I'm looking. What I kind of want to do is like a Mr. Ripley kind of character, a Hannibal kind of character, sort of thing for Jason Monroe, and I don't think that I really found the guy yet, but I'm still, that's something like, I'm not looking for anything too big. I just want it to happen. So if I ended up doing just if I end up just doing the audio version of it, the podcast, I'll be happy with that. And the other thing I really did that was notable in August was something I've written for someone I've known for a very, very long time. It was a very, very, like, I think I poured out a lot, or I at least tried to. But the whole gist of it is, like, I really, is like, it's hard, it's actually hard to be mean than to be nice, that's all I can tell you, and some people, they see through it, and then, and then I'm just like, I don't really, like, I really am glad that my, they decided to, basically, like, reach their potential, not letting anything hold them back, and it's just kind of weird that out of everybody I know, I'm the one that ends up doing this. It doesn't seem like it fits for me, but, people like, funny stuff, I guess. My mother was just making her own, business cards the other day. She was, like, doing the arts and the graphics and all that, and even the colors, and I think she eventually saw my stuff, and she was, you should have seen the look on her face, and, she was very smug. She had a really smug look, and she's like, I make better art than these YouTubers, and I'm like, that's a huge, huge burn right there. And, yeah, it's very apparent, so, oh, man, my family is starting to do that stuff. They, just flexing their products and services on TikTok, and then it's just, I already know. It was only delaying the inevitable, right? So, but, I'm glad they're enjoying themselves. Believe me, it's, I would definitely know it is a little hard to adjust to the online landscape, and trying to not show my age too much. And it's very fun too when in the baby Frosties, they when I have finally shown my age, it's pretty surprising. And I guess my answer is I just am pretty open-minded. That's all probably why I ended up like that. Okay, so September. Oh boy, I don't want to mention this guy, Mr. Open Secret, too much. So long story short, guy I thought would be good actor for Creepo is actually Creepo. Just because you are something doesn't mean... There's a difference between being good at acting and then just being yourself. That's all I want to say about that. Oh boy, Drake versus Kendrick Lamar. I was a little late to the party, but I do know that this beef was pretty bomb. I wanted to include that for Dogs Molly Jolly Holiday 3, and technically they did because that's what Kendrick Lamar would have wanted if he won the fight. And no, this is not out of nowhere. Whenever you read my descriptions, I know people don't read the descriptions. I don't want to bully you to do that, but if you do take the time, I do make it worth it. So, in the lore, I guess if you don't know, you'll know now. Yes, so in Dogs Molly Jolly Holiday 3, Drake and Kendrick Lamar will be part of that competition, as well as many others. And then I re-released Unwell. Don't know if I'll ever do an official one because I technically already did. Oh, right. And then September, this one I decided to throw all caution to the wind and just talked about animation for Halloween Eve. And, I gotta say, I'm doing a pretty good job. So, October is when when journalist me decided to do her Troublesome Times, only instead of Troublesome Times, it was Checkmate with a Smile, so that people will know this is another Jack Wonderland Frost in an alternate universe. I will say, oh boy, this one. Well, I mean, there was something I was gonna see, and I really, really wanted to talk about the thing that happened, because there really was a court case that happened, and then I was playing journalist, but the journalist me just wanted to get the good word out there. Only in her rabbit hole, that was Jason Monroe. Oh, wait. Remember when I said earlier that, you didn't read the descriptions? Forbiddance was actually not set in this universe. It was with journalist me, and she was very bright to, what happened was, when I was about to delete my channel, so anyone can sing, journalist me stopped myself from doing that, and then accidentally leaked the Forbiddance thing, and that's what we heard, that's what we got it. So yes, and that is also not out over, because if you read the description for Forbiddance, that was also true. But again, I understand why people don't read them, because when you have a foot size description, of course I don't blame you, but me, I just want to make it worth it. And no, they do not always come out of nowhere. This is planned, and I just kind of write it in pros form. So yeah, I don't know what's happening in the Jason Monroe case. In her rabbit hole, she discusses what happened, and let me tell you, compared to might be Jason Monroe. Oh, I'm sure that one's gonna love the comparison, because it seems to really, really like that kind of stuff. I'm not even gonna pretend yet. Yeah, of course this was based off of me, because it's just one of those things that's pretty obvious. Yeah, so journalist me's point was do things for the right reasons. Who knows? That's a kind of madness, and I hope that one is that was actually pretty fun to do. Trying to see if I could do different versions of me's in alternate universes in different ways. I don't try to do the same thing over and over again. I think that's where I really, really, really challenged myself. Is can I make another me, but also cool and different, but also the same? And, after all, all we do is talk to ourselves, so why not give us an idea of what's going on in our little minds? And that's sort of what ended up happening for the Eminem review. Eminem versus Slim Shady, the album thing. Let me see, this one I was actually pretty interested in doing, because, it's something people wanted to do, and I realized, how many people, there's, so much info, but it's also hard to find, so I realized that if I needed to really do a proper review, there's a lot of callbacks to this one, to the death of Slim Shady. So I ended up doing it like a Eminem crash course, and then for those who really, really don't care and don't want to see a documentary style, you just get to see Eminem kick Eminem's ass. So it's a win-win for everybody, I hope. I will address one little thing there, because there are two music reviewers that I really love to watch a lot, and they do make similar content, but their executions are completely different. I will say that I do like both of their videos, but I will say, like, cause there was, cause one of them ended up shading Eminem, and it was very clear he had no idea what he was talking about. And I just want to I just want to say that, I made a whole video about this, like how you are just not trying, and he had a hate boner for Jelly Roll. Don't know why. I guess he hates country and rap. I don't know. So I will say I kind of wish that he did touch things like better. Like, you don't have to like his stuff. I even said in my Eminem video, you don't have to change your mind, but we can't just pretend that he was just the first white guy savior thing, because that definitely was not the case. And I did explain why I believe people really like Eminem, even though even Eminem knows it. He's not in my top 5. He's actually number 6. So, and so again, you can have your opinion, but make sure the facts are correct. And I think like I really hope it's not because I know that they always get compared to each other. But I bring up the other one more because I mean, like, the reason I do is because, it's really interesting because the so-called music reviewer, like, always wanted to not be remembered as a music reviewer. So I thought I would try and give it a shot. Like, okay, I'll do that. See if it'll make you happy and not be so angry for once. So what I really don't, I just want to say for there, I was not, I did like both of them, I do, but, if I want to get more useful information, I would do the eternal angry one more. I say that with love, by the way. So, and the funny thing is, when I did see the year-end stuff, in his own way, this, the other one was actually fucking bragging about the fact that his non-music videos had more traction than the always popular music videos. I'm like, wow, he finally got what he wished for. Good for you. Good for you. But, yeah, what can I say? I think I like to try. I like to try, and I like to, I don't know. I thought it was good to, get some good stuff. I mean, it's it's kind of weird. I hope that this isn't offensive, but it's almost like kind of British in a way, how dry it can get. But I don't know. Maybe sometimes it just, watching them stuff, I shouldn't be blind and just take everything I say at fate, like, right away. Because sometimes, it's good to have an opinion and challenge people so their stuff will always stay fire. Anyway, yeah. So I'm going on to November. So I did write these in order, but I will say I'm going to talk about the shortest one first, which was the theme song for Checkmate with a Smile. I just know that Journalist Me would do the theme song. And in case anyone's curious, yes, it is different in this rabbit hole than the one it's supposed to be. What ended up happening without notice, or as far as I know, if it's under 3 minutes, it's automatically in YouTube Shorts. So when I found out why it wasn't there when I was re-uploading, I was not happy. I tried to do it longer. I tried to do at least a minute. And then, so I decided to add like, all this bunch of stuff. And that was it. Like, okay, you need a 3 minutes? I can do 3 minutes. But dang. The reason I don't really like that it changes to shorts now is because I know that I thought, this is what I was saying to my family. I thought that the shorts would, give people that leeway, just to go on my main stuff. That does not happen. That's why I don't try to rely on the shorts anymore, is because what is the point of having over 1,000 or 2,000 views if nobody's really gonna go see my stuff anyway? I'm gonna blame Charles the Spammer for that one. So, oh boy, and of course in November, I finally released what is called Miss Award. And I I didn't want to like respond right away. I didn't really want to be too mean or harsh about this subject. But the thing is, I felt like, I was being challenged, and I do have friends who are huge fans of rap, and we're also freestyle rappers back in our middle school days. And I just know that in that kind of thing, if somebody challenges you, you have to accept that. And I didn't want to, I don't think this person knew what they were getting into. So I'm trying to like warn them, like, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Because, again, my closest friends who come from the kingdom of trash talk are gonna want really juicy, good stuff. I'm like, are you guys sure? Are you guys sure? And, yeah, this is about, I guess, like, the general thing is, like, this is me, like, saying, okay, you're entitled to your journey and your feelings and all that. You're fine to do all that, but when it comes to, like, your fans, you should really respect them, because they're the ones that, that are the reason you got there. That was my primary issue. I really don't care about all the drama between the, like, this guy stole years of my life, and this girl stole years of my life, and she's young, and I'm gonna, like, take back all the years I've stolen from my life. And then I'm gonna call you something, like, why you were more famous than me now, and then, if you wouldn't be there was for me. No, I'm fighting, because, no, I did not know who you were at all. I admitted that, and how I found out about this one is actually very interesting at all, and I even admitted that I actually admitted a mistake I did, because, and the reason that is because it was unisex. And so that's why I named it as such, to remind myself, maybe I shouldn't be, I should speak, female to male. So, I don't really know what happened, but, that was me being, like, basically done, hey, stop doing this stuff to yourself. Stop doing this to me. Stop taking it on me and everybody else, okay? Like, that's not... don't put it on us for everything that happened. And we're the last people you should be putting on us. If I have to be real. Like, again, and then there's, like, a lot of stuff I'd rather not get into, because I know that people, they think that, stuff about me, like, there's always something about me. But unfortunately, I am just trying not to be too loud and crazy, because I don't want to scare my courage, who is, like, sleeping in her room, which in this context is a living room. And yeah, that's why that's going to be brought up a little bit later. And then there's another alternate universe where Dr. Me decided to do the podcast, and that was actually pretty wild to do. And I think it's interesting. Some people assume that I don't know how to do this right. I remember when I was, like, starting around late 2019 to 2020, there were some people's dumb enablers that of a certain toxic little spiny worm that were saying, oh, you don't know, you don't get what it takes, basically. And it's like, I do, but the way you're doing it is boring. It's all the same. Don't try to copy off each other. Me, like, that was proof that I could do it. But whenever I do this stuff myself, I am bringing my own stuff to the table. I'm bringing my own touch to this. And that's how it should be. I shouldn't have to read one thing and then another thing blind, and then I can't tell whose or what. I seriously get, like, lectured about that. Like, Oh, I read this. Oh, it seems somewhere. No, it's not. Don't you see the figurative language that they use between these stanzas and the styles they use in the syllable form? Come on now. Like, come on. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I just thought the terms they use and the topics they covered or whatever. Hypothetical. This is just a hypothetical thing. Uh-huh. Yeah, well, you gotta pay a little more attention to the details. I mean, there is a reason that these are covered in their own way. Let's just say that. I mean, yeah, so I'm like, fine. You know what? I am pretty sure I can do a serious podcast in a serious character. And I hope Dr. Me Seriously is okay. So it's like, I can do it, but, you know, I want to do a unique approach. And of course, I know they're also going to be telling me, yeah, of course you can do it unique. But you have to remember, structure is vital. I said, of course, I know that. Of course I know. Anyway, so the last two videos that I found were noteworthy is, yeah, I finally tried another Snoop Dogg thing. Yes, I don't want to try and, you know, I usually don't try to bring up too many people the same way, because that is, I don't want to be one of those videos where it feels like I don't want to be one of those people where it feels like I'm beating a dead horse. But I seriously did Google just Snoop Dogg whatever, and I was surprised to do the ice cream thing, and it was just, the holidays were coming up, I was excited, and I'm like, I'm gonna try this. And usually when I do these food things, I will say right now, I do not waste food. Anytime you see food or drinks in my videos, I don't waste it. I don't do stuff like that. And a lot of times, since I always get like a lot of food, I usually have other people try it and tell me what they think of it. So that way, I don't think, this is one thing. See, here's another fun fact about me and my family. My family are foodies. They love food. They love cooking. You can talk about them forever about it. Both my family in general. And so I do know a lot about that stuff, but I sometimes I just want to eat. I just want to eat something and enjoy eating about it. I don't want to spend like 2 hours talking about why the flavor was pretty lacking in this kind of bread, and it's too like heavy with all the sauce that's applied on the meat, and the meat was a little dry on my sandwich. You know, I don't want to be doing that like that. I mean, maybe some of you guys do like that, but I think that gets a little tiresome after a while. So I'm like, you know what? I just want a day where I eat ice cream, and I gotta thank Snoop Dogg for that. And people love it. People liked it a lot. And so, and then the funny thing is, my last video was interesting. I wanted to thank people for the soap thing. My old man, like, people have asked me, am I trying to be funny? No, I'm really not. My old man really is that way. Like, he's actually a lot worse, in my opinion, than I would be. Like, I try to be understanding, but my old man, on the other hand, is, like, suffering and will let me know about it forever. Like, it feels like. So, I thought the video would be like, oh yeah, well, thanks for doing this. Because I was asking, hey, how does it feel that all these videos about this were made? Because you always talk about it, and then it rubbed off on me, basically. He's like, good, because everybody needs to use soap. Oh, what a simple, humble old man, huh? Anyway, so another thing I actually did say, you know, if I see anything that I will have tried to have to get my mind on, I will drink it. And I ended up drinking Logan Paul Prime. And unfortunately, I've seen maybe only Gordon Ramsay's video about that, but I didn't want to see anyone else's. The thing is, I also was a little worried since, like, Logan Paul's pretty big now. I will say I've known Logan Paul for a long time, because we're the same age, as I said previously, and he was actually he and Jake were pretty popular on Vine, and the Vine compilations were always on YouTube, so that's how I saw them. They were, believe it or not, not always, they were not the biggest Vine people on there, but when they went on YouTube after Vine shut down, that's when they started to get popular and doing the craziest stuff. I know. I was a little worried that they would responded to me very badly. But the vacation thing was like, I was just all tuckered out. I needed a vacation. This thing's an hour long. So I really hope you guys had pet your pet today and or cleaned and or used soap. It's really early by the time I'm recording this. So, but I tried a little bit of everything. That drink, Prime, maybe it's just not for me. I do know it's not because I'm not used to tasting the stuff I do. Like, it's, I don't know. If I had to choose between the others, I wouldn't really drink it. It's pretty popular. It's so weird, because I ended up, like, just seeing it everywhere still, and it really was sold out. It was affordable, at least, for some reason. And I don't want to get too into much, but like what happened during my holidays, but I have a feeling, I don't know, like, what can I say? I can just say, just Logan Paul doing Logan Paul things. I mean, I tried to be fair. I've been critical, I know, but I have my reasons, and but at the same time, it's kind of like, well, everyone else is like older than me, and oh boy. So sometimes it feels like I'm kind of like still like a rookie at this, like a new school kind of person, and I don't know, like, man, I was gonna end this with a bang or whatever, but like I said, like, a lot of unusual stuff happened. I don't know if I should really cover it. I did see certain things that I'm a little surprised that, I mean, yes, I did save anything. So I don't know why he's been making all this bizarre stuff. I couldn't tell you, but I really was trying to be fair when I drank that stuff. I thought, okay, well, if I don't like it as it is, I'll just like try it in different ways. I actually had no idea that was actually happening either. But the rum thing, that nothing I did was actually fake. I didn't want to waste anything because, it could have went to somebody else that needed a drink. So I thought, okay, you know what? I bought this. Someone else could have used it. I need to drink water. So I'll try and finish it. And then people got curious and started drinking it too. I don't know why. It seems like to be like the holy grail of drinks right now. But I really, really hope, like, something about that gets improved. Because it definitely needed to be improved. Like, the texture, like the way it goes down your throat is just what really turns it off for me. It really, I've never had anything like that. Even when I shook the bottle, it was like pretty bizarre. I don't know why for that drink, it felt like liquid candy to me. I know it's not sugar, like I can taste that, but it doesn't feel right. Like it needs to like be very smooth, and then the taste, maybe it's just not for me. Like, because people like it enough for it to be sold out now, but that part unfortunately is true. But yeah, but I guess I'll just, but if anybody needs any good sugar-free stuff, maybe eventually I'll make the journey, because it seems, I will say this, we do need more sugar-free stuff so that everybody knows what it's like to have candy, ice cream, and Gatorade. So that was easy, right? Since everyone else has a podcast, I might as well do that too. This actually was the longest thing I've done. And I guess the reason why is like, there are a lot of things that are happening now that I am a small bit online celebrity, internet celebrity, I guess. And, I do think and say things that are specific. And now, especially when I go in my hometown, I have been seeing and hearing people like say stuff that say the same things I've said in videos, and even start to do that. Even Courage is getting recognized, and I never show her that much online in general, let alone on my public stuff. And I thought it's interesting. I'm like, I no, they a lot of people get really shy to approach me. I do appreciate that, but I have noticed. But I will say, I do like that you guys enjoy my stuff, and that I will probably just keep doing what I do whenever I can, because I guess I'm gonna take a Mr. Rogers approach to this. That, you know, if the you need a hope of sunshine in these troublesome times, I guess I will have to be that sunshine for now. And hopefully it will inspire others to make this place better, safer, and not as boring. So anyway, if you haven't done this yet, don't forget to pet your pet. Stay safe until I see you again. So, anyways, bye-bye.